Will Brink here from www.brinkzone.com. Just sitting out in my backyard doing the morning coffee thing. And I wanted to talk a little bit about the creatine bloat, which is a bit of an anomalous term that honestly I'm not even sure what it means. But understand one thing in business in general, supplements or otherwise, and that is to sell a product you've got to create a problem and then solve it. Well, the creatine bloat, in my opinion, is one of those. Creatine monohydrate, of course, is dirt cheap, effective, and safe, and it's difficult to sell a competing product against it if you don't come up with a problem to solve. So one of them was the creatine bloat, and this has been around a long time. If you're a teenager in your 20s or whatever, you don't remember perhaps liquid creatine, serum creatine, etc. They came up with the cures the creatine bloat. So let's discuss this quickly, though. The only way I can understand the bloat might be, are we talking about stomach bloat? If you're talking about stomach bloat specifically, go watch my other creatine videos, because what might be going on is if you dump, undissolved creatine at 5, 10, 15 grams or so of mostly undissolved creatine into your gut, that could cause stomach bloat. Because what happens, of course, is the stomach has to draw water into the gut, into the GI tract to dissolve the stuff, or either that to pass through you. It's one or the other. It either has to be fully dissolved to be absorbed, or it's going to pass through you. So that could be the cause if you're talking about stomach bloating. Whenever I hear I get bloat from creatine, try fully mixing it, watch the other videos. If you're talking about some sort of whole body bloat, then I don't know what people are talking about. This is a figment of marketing, to be honest with you, and placebo effect. There's been plenty of studies done on creatine monohydrate, and the water is intracellular. That is, it is inside the muscle cell, mostly. There's been water compartment studies done for a long time to see where that water is going, and it's going in the muscle cells. Now, if it was going subcutaneous, under the skin, that would obviously be that'd be water retention, classic water retention. You could call it bloat if you wanted to. But where the water goes is pretty well known. And maybe some people are not expecting, when they put on 4 to 6 pounds of weight within a week or two of using creatine, which some people experience, maybe that makes them feel bloated. I'm not sure. But you're not retaining water in the classic sense of subcutaneous. It is in the places you want it to be. The hydration state of the cell is an anabolic stimulus. Whether a cell is hydrated or not hydrated actually has to do with whether it's in an anabolic state, and that's another issue. But this whole bloat thing is, to be honest with you, if it's not just a stomach thing, it is basically an invented problem to be solved by companies competing with creatine monohydrate. Again, that doesn't mean all competing creatines are by default bad or not, but again, as we say, as any scientist will say, the burden of proof is on those who make the claims. If you make a claim, you're the one who's got to show it, via actual studies. And there really aren't any studies showing that one type of creatine is superior in that respect over the other. If you don't gain any weight, people say, well, I used X brand and I didn't get the bloat. Again, I can only assume what they're saying is they didn't gain any weight. Well, if you didn't gain any weight, it's not working. That's what creatine is supposed to do. If it's not doing it, then it's not working. And there was a study with creatine ethyl ester, for example, that actually showed, interestingly, that it was more likely to retain water outside of the cell than creatine monohydrate was. So technically, if anything was going to quote-unquote bloat you or give you water retention, CEE was more apt to do that, at least in this particular study. So that's my basic talk today about the quote-unquote bloat. And I'm not... feel free to leave messages below what you experience when you experience bloat, because I'm honestly, after 20 plus years, unclear what people are exactly meaning by that when they say I experience bloat from this one but not from that one. So I'd be happy to get into it more with people, but that's basically where I want to start, and I'll see you on the Brink Zone. For more information on this topic, head over to the Brink Zone. That's www.brinkzone.com, where you'll find my blog, more videos, free reports on fat loss, muscle building supplementation, fitness, health, and longevity, as well as a ton of articles and my free weekly fitness newsletter. So I hope to see you on the Brink Zone.